I know these questions are not popular to ask, and could lead to my dismissal, but I shall ask them nonetheless. If we really did send men to the moon, why didn't they leave a photographic telescope on the surface? It would have provided us astronomers fantastic and atmosphere-free images of the heavens. Why would Neil Armstrong say he could not see stars from the lunar surface by eye alone? And why would Michael Collins add that he could not recall seeing any stars? Is this some sort of sick joke? Did you know that Buzz Aldrin claims to have been the first person to pee himself on the lunar surface? Talk about a guy desperate to have a first. I guess old Buzzy is getting hard up for some extra cash. It seems he is suing Topps Trading Cards for using the iconic image of him on the moon. I thought those photos are public domain. And what's with Alan Bean? When asked if he suffered any ill effects while going through the Van Allen radiation belts, he said he didn't think they went far enough out to encounter them. What the hell? And why in the world didn't NASA scrub the Apollo 12 mission after the Saturn V was struck by lightning? They scrub shuttle missions at the first sign of inclement weather or the slightest malfunction. Have you watched In the Shadow of the Moon? John Young explains how he noticed the wiring in the Apollo 1 capsule was a hazard. And then he mentions how he told Gus Grissom that he should complain, but that Gus was afraid he would lose his job if he did. Well, John, if you knew about the hazard to your fellow astronauts, why didn't you say something? You were the coward, John Young. Hi Phil, the bad astronomer. What is your problem? I heard you wimped out of an interview with Jarrah White and kept on about how he was impervious to logic. It seems you were the one who was impervious to courage. By the way, if you ever defied your courage again, Joe Rogan is ready for another debate with you. Anyone pat you on the back for your great job on defending an ardent Nazi, responsible for the enslavement and murder of numerous Jews? And now a question for Adam Savage. Have you checked to see that lasers were fired at the lunar surface and received back in the early 60s? If so, are you willing to admit that you, along with majority of the world, are being fooled into continuing to believe in the Apollo fairy tale? I thought being a critic meant you had to be critical of unbelievable claims. I guess for you, cynicism is never applied to government-sponsored claims that stink to high heaven? And now for the astro and solar physicists out there. Why is it that you continue to call Apollo astronauts lucky that they did not encounter any major solar flares that would have killed them? All you have to do is go to NOAA's National Geophysical Data Center and look up major solar flares listed in the Comprehensive Flare Index. There you will find several major solar flares recorded during Apollo mission dates. Do you realize that by defending faked space missions, you are setting back future missions and proving that you are unfit to put your titles in front of your names? However, I would like to take this time to applaud Eleanor Blakely, who spoke out about the hazards of trying to use aluminum as shielding for a spacecraft. Kudos to you. Finally, for those of you watching this, who think I am somehow misrepresenting the facts, I invite you to research everything I have said for yourself. Was It Only a Paper Moon is a fantastic investigation into Apollo mission claims. Fox, Did We Land on the Moon is less thorough, but a slick presentation of many of the anomalies Apollo is riddled with. Here at YouTube you can find out much more about the Apollo moon hoax by watching moon faker videos from Jarrah White Studios, as well as videos by Lunarcy Productions. If you will take the time to check out the links in the information box underneath, you will be able to begin your own research, which will allow you to awaken to the Apollo fairy tale sold to an unaware public by a bunch of ardent Nazi rocket scientists using test pilots they wanted you to believe are completely radiation-proof. Learn about the true environment of cislunar space. Then NASA will be unable to fool you anymore. And one last question that everyone should have asked themselves by now. If NASA had really put men on the moon, wouldn't the evidence stand alone? Which means they wouldn't need the help from the likes of Phil, the bad astronomer, Jay Wingley, Jim Oberg, or the numerous other apologists littering the internet these days.